Hi guys, human rights are bad. Yes, we finally arrived at that stage in the political discourse. Let me be very clear, the goal of Brexit was to strip away protections for workers, the environment and consumers. The entire discussion around asylum seekers and migrants has little to do with those people. It's about denying British people protections to their rights under the European Convention on Human Rights. The Tories and Reform will use whatever they can to push Britain to exit from the Convention and suspend both rights and protections for British people. Discussions on immigration is a tool, but upending civil liberties is the final goal. So you've likely heard stories about chicken nuggets and Palestinian refugees, and of course human rights lawyers. It's about getting people angry enough to sign away their own protections. Here Rupert Lowe from Reform UK talked about how human rights lawyers are clogging up the arteries of business. Yes, he said the quiet part out loud.
With countries led by Keir Starmer, as I've said, probably the most duplicitous Prime Minister in history, a human rights lawyer. As we know, behind Tony Blair was Cherie Blair, a human rights lawyer. I think this human rights nonsense has just got completely out of control. And a bit like the legal profession, throughout history, every now and again, they get half a cut above themselves. And I think they're rather more than half a cut above themselves now. And you can't move without having a lawyer now. And that is basically clogging up the arteries of commerce, which has to stop.
Well, it is actually the most damaging thing that any society can be faced with, is too many lawyers, absolutely unbelievable.
There we have it. There we have it. What did I say? They will be attacking human rights, and they're attacking human rights lawyers. This human rights nonsense has gone too far. Human rights nonsense has gone too far. Now, what, of course, they're doing is they're focusing on issues of immigration, asylum seekers or whatever. And are there stupid cases? Of course there are. But that's not the point. The point is they want to strip away protections for British people. These people don't care about asylum seekers or refugees. They're using them as a tool. Rupert Lowe said it there. Commerce, business. He wants to strip away protections for British people that get in the way of businesses maximizing their profit. It's no longer behind the scenes. It's no longer something that you have to dig into to discover. They're saying it. He's saying it there on TV. We want to get rid of these human rights lawyers because it's damaging business. What sort of businesses have a problem with human rights? Do you think they're ethical businesses that have a problem with human rights? I keep saying this. Reform UK exists to push, they existed to push the Conservatives in the direction of the right wing, and they're trying to do the same with Labour. They exist to push the narrative in the direction of we need to be more right-wing. We need to have a right-wing government. It's not about the politics of right-wing. It's about economic policies. It's about cutting taxes for the richest in society. It's about stripping away protections for workers and consumers and human rights. Because the right to assembly is a human right. It's covered under the European Convention on Human Rights. Assembly in the sense that you can protest against businesses that are acting unethically. To join a trade union, that's a human right. To stand up for your own rights is a human right. To protest, to complain, to organize. See, these are problems for businesses that are unethical. And Reform UK is on the side of unethical businesses. It's no longer hidden, as I said. It's now up in front of our eyes. They're on the side of business. They're not on the side of workers. And we can even look at other evidence to support that. There was a bill going through Parliament recently about protecting worker rights. Do you think Reform UK voted for it or against it? What do you think? Of course, they voted against it. This was a bill to protect workers' rights. Of course, they're on the side of business. They're not on the side of workers. They present themselves as the people's army. They present themselves as a party of the working class, looking out for ordinary people. But they're not that. They're the party of the rich. They want to use policies like immigration and asylum seekers and culture wars to drive the current government further to the right. And as a result of that, they will implement right-wing economic policies as well. We've already seen a rollback on things like the non-dom tax status. We're not even hearing anything about taxing the richest in society. Instead, it's about going after the poorest in society, those on benefits or entitlements. That's what Reform UK exists for. And now it's about attacking asylum seekers, refugees, immigrants, and of course, those who are there to protect them, human rights lawyers. And of course, human rights lawyers are not just there to protect foreigners, they're there also to protect British citizens. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.